Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Dow Jones today? So apologies, yesterday I forgot there was a public holiday in the US. So yeah, the volumes would have been pretty thin. And the daily candle that basically was printed yesterday is a pin bar. So take it with a pinch of salt at the moment because volumes would have been fairly thin. Okay, and I don't see anything else here. So nothing else really to write home about here, apart from the fact that we have a bit of a flag. Now, this spike above it on Friday was because of non-farm payroll, so that was a data spike. So the weekly still indicates that we are tired, but if we look at the daily, you can see that we have come off and we are now kind of in neutral territory at the moment. Okay, so just want to extend that. Okay, so let's just get rid of that one there, and I think I'll get rid of that as well. Let's get down to something that we can trade. Okay, so we had a fairly good move to the downside and then a pretty strong close as the buyer stepped in. One thing that is worrying me is the fact that the oscillators are grouped to the upside on the hour, okay, below the 200 moving average, and also we sort of stepping out the Bollinger Band here as well. So I do suspect some form of consolidation or downside move during this morning session. This string of buyers that's popped in here is as a result of a level being tagged. So there's a 4 hour, you can see it's a 200 moving average on the 4 hour, okay, which coincides with a few things. So there was a level that buyers would have stepped in on, and then the next level would have been there, and then you would have had buyers on the 200 moving average as well. Okay, so that was kind of the zone, and you can see how the buyers did step in on there. And stepped in, we've got some diversions here on the 4 hour. There's a lower low with some diversions. Okay, so it is a fairly good area to be long. Okay, I didn't take the entry purely because it was a public holiday and I was a little bit worried about it. But anyway, if you did take this entry, as I suggested yesterday, nothing wrong with it at the moment. You can probably already move your stop up to protect your capital and watch what's going to happen. But I do think, especially looking at the hour at the moment, we're either going to have some sideways consolidation or we are going to move back to the downside, okay, and come and test, if not the lows, at least a 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, and which will probably more than likely line up with this level here. Okay, we can just double check that. Okay, so that's a 50% pullback. So 61.8 is this pin bar here. So anyway, that is the zone that I'd be interested in watching. Okay, so let's just put another one in there. Okay, and get rid of that. All right, so those are the two areas that I'm looking at. So I'd like to see price come back a bit. If we can sort of form a base in this area, there's definitely an opportunity to be long. Okay, last thing I want to look at here is just put up the 4 hour, because this is that was the original trend line. Okay, so first high, second, third touch, then we had this little spike above pretty much on Friday, so with non-farm payrolls, and then we have broken above yesterday. Okay, so we have broken above, but I do suspect I would like to see us to come back and test this break. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a long entry here, but preferably on a pullback. So any pullback I want to be long, and the stop is going to be below 26,247. May get 26,240 to be safe, so below this 200 moving average. Okay, so that's what we're waiting for at the moment. And you can see that we are testing the swing low here. So we've tested it once, we've tested it twice. So this is also a double bottom. Okay, now I just want to quickly pull across to a Bollinger. And the reason for that is prices outside the Bollinger here, inside the Bollinger here, Bollinger diversions, the percentage R diversions, MACD diversions, every diversion that you can think of is here, and we're bouncing off a 20 moving average. Okay, so a break above, sorry, no, there we go. So a break above 26.563 validates this double bottom, and that gives us a target of from there to there. So that will give us a target of 26883, and it lines up with these two tails here at the left. Okay, so that is kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for a decent break above 26563. So we can get a decent break above 2653. That would validate this double bottom, and then we're looking for pretty much first target is going to be 26883, and then obviously the previous all-time highs would be the next targets. Okay, so that is my view on this at the moment, and I doubt it's going to change much. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, this is another pullback, and the other thing that has happened is, well, not quite yet, but we still haven't tested this break, but you can argue that it has been done. Okay, so the last thing, I just found something else here. So there it is, and there it is. So we have a wedge. We have a wedge, we have diversions on the wedge, we have oscillators grouping to the downside, and this is all off the 4 hour. And we have a Bollinger double bottom brewing. We have an inside bar, we have an engulfing bar, so we've got some pretty bullish signals here on the 4 hour. So everything is pointing to the fact that we need to be long. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. So just looking at the DAX earlier, I am concerned about the European Open. So I would not be surprised to see us come and challenge these lows again during the European session. Okay, which would give me an opportunity to get long in anticipation of the US session. So that's kind of my stance on this for today. Is I am definitely looking for a long entry. A lot going on that is starting to look like a long, and I really have no interest in shorting any of the US markets at the moment. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, and if you did get in long yesterday, like I said, there's no real reason to get out, but I would definitely tighten my stop to below this the swing low here. So what's this? I would definitely be tightening my stop below 26,500. Okay, or even just taking profit now, because I am anticipating this thing to move back to the downside. Okay, so okay, last thing. Let's just have a look at the ichimoku, and reason being, I want to look at it on a 4 hour basis, because that is an indication of a trend reversal. Right, so we had a crossover here which indicated move to the downside. We've broken through the cloud, we've tested the break of the cloud, we're testing a break again. The concerning factor here for anybody that is holding a short is that Kijinsen, the red line, is flat while Kijinsen is pointing down. Okay, so we have diversions here of these two and price. So I would expect us to start rolling like this. And see if we can find an example of what I'm talking about. Not there. It doesn't look like we're going to find one. There's one there. Okay, so you can see how it's flat, and then we start rolling up. You see how it starts rounding off, and then eventually we get the crossover, and then the acceleration happens. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Let's get back there. Okay, so pretty much all the indicators are pointing to the same thing. So all the different templates are saying. You can already see here on the Bill Williams, you can see how we're pointing to the upside. And if we take the hour, you can see we've had a crossover. Okay, so if you're trading the Bill Williams, it would be wait for a retest of this break. So in other words, come down, stay above here. That's my long entry, and it's a swing trade long. Okay, so that's kind of what you can see. You can see the momentum has changed. You can see double bottom played out here. We're above the zero. So the trend has potentially changed on the hour, and on the 4 hour it hasn't crossed over yet, but it is looking good. So, pretty much every single strategy that you can think of is starting to point to upside. So that's what I would look to trade. Anyway, guys, so that's my take on this. Whatever dip we do get, I'd like to see a lower high. In other words, shoulder, head, shoulder. And at that point, it would be definitely a long entry for me. Okay, so that's me for today. I'm looking for long entries, and we will wait and see what happens in the European session. I do suspect a bit of a pullback and then an opportunity to get long. Anyway, guys, hope it helps, and I'll catch up with you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers for now.